And happy Thursday morning to you, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston, and I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. Hey, look, I want to remind you how close we are getting to the Preterist Pilgrim Weekend 2016. Our theme this year is the fallacy of amillennialism. We've got some great speakers lined up for you. Going to have a two-day formal debate, between Dr. David Hester of Faulkner University, who is an amillennialist, and myself. Our topic will be, is the quote, second coming, unquote, of Christ supposed to be at a future end of time, or did Christ come at the attendant resurrection of the just and the unjust at the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70? As you can see, this is a very, very important topic, one that you'll be greatly interested in. And by the way, yes, live streaming will be available, but you really need to be here. I mean, this is going to be a fantastic event. We have Rod MacArthur as one of our speakers, Dr. Dallas Burdett for a first-time speaker, Larry Siegel, who has been here many, many times, and of course, William Bell. So make your plans to be with us July 14th through the 16th. You can go to BibleProphecy.com and eschatology.org and just let me know you're coming. There's no registration fee for attending, all right? Free of charge to attend. But we would like to know if you're coming. The registrations are coming in, I can tell you that. We do have plenty of room, so don't hesitate to come. Okay, I'm going to make this my last, I think, installment in our examination of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 11, where Paul said, the end of the ages has come. A great number of you sent me an email asking me to comment on this text and its significance and the terminology that Paul used, because the terminology that Paul used is so incredibly important. Well, in our last segment, I talked about whether or not God can tell time. Offered a free copy of my little book, Can God Tell Time? All right? I want to pick up on that, and I want to address this issue of God and time in this last installment. Because here is Paul saying that he knew what time it was. He knew that the goal of the ages had arrived. Now, the only way that he could know that is through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit sent from the Father who knew what time it was. He said in Romans 13:11, knowing the hour, knowing the time. And by the way, the New Testament writers use a word over and over and over again that is highly significant. It is the Greek word kairos. Kairos is appointed time, designated time. And they tell us, for instance, in 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17, the definite article, kairos, the appointed time for the judgment has arrived. Now here's what I want you to see. Jesus said in Luke chapter 21 and verse 8, many false Christs will come saying, I am he, and the end has drawn near. Do not believe them. Here is Jesus warning his own apostles of making premature declarations of the nearness of the end. Do you catch that? Jesus told his apostles that men would come making premature declarations of the end. They would be false prophets. Now, folks, catch this. Let's see. The Mormons predicted that the end of the world would be in the generation of the Civil War. False prophecy, premature prediction. The Jehovah's Witnesses have predicted so many times we lose count that the end, the coming of the Lord, was going to be, 1914, 1917, 1919, 1925. Millions now living will never die, one book said. Premature declarations of the end. Harold Camping, how many times did he say the end was near and failed? false prediction, premature declaration of the end. Tim LaHaye, Thomas Ice, Hal Lindsay, John Hagee and Four Blood Moons, Jonathan Cahn, they all made premature declarations of the end. Now watch this. Jesus said, men who make declarations, premature declarations of the nearness of the end are false prophets. And all these prophets afterwards have said the end is drawn near. Well, someone may say, oh, wait a minute, Don. The New Testament writers said the end of all things is drawn near. Here's the irony of this. Peter was sitting there with Jesus in Luke chapter 21 and verse 8 when Jesus said, false prophets will come saying the end is drawn near. Do not believe them. Peter, writing in that very same generation, said the end of all things has drawn near. Now here's the question. Was Peter a false prophet? Did he become one of the very false prophets that Jesus said were coming? We have a choice here. Peter said that he was inspired by the Holy Spirit, sent from God. That's the God who sent the Spirit, the God who knew the day and the hour. But he's writing later in that same generation, saying the end is drawn near. So again, the question is, did Peter become one of the very false prophets that Jesus warned about? Or was he, as Revelation 1 and following says, the revelation of Jesus Christ, now watch this, you got to catch the power of this, which God gave to him. Okay, here's the Father telling the Son to show to his servants things which must shortly come to pass. Okay, so this is not Jesus in his incarnate form in which he did not know the day and the hour. No. This is the Father who knew the day and the hour, telling the Son to tell the churches these things must shortly come to pass. Because, verse 3, the time, the kairos, is at hand. Wow. Folks, look, there is no way, biblically, to negate or to deny the genuine, objective truthfulness of the first century New Testament time statements about the imminence of the end. When Paul said, the goal of the ages has come upon us, he was saying that through inspiration of the Spirit, sent from the Father who knew the day and the hour. Listen, if you want, and I've offered this book free, okay, so you can have this book free, but if you want an even more expanded version and discussion of God and time, go to my website, eschatology.org or bibleprophecy.com, and order my book, Who is This Babylon? All right? Yes, this is even more expanded than my book, Can God Tell Time? But go to my website, order the book, Who is This Babylon? Say that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping, and that'll save you $5. All right? Hey, thank you so much for joining me for this morning's morning musings. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Lord willing, we'll see you on Monday.